I so do miss that original theme song from Hawaii 5-0 from back in the 60s and early 70s. Music performed, it was sung by them at about the same time, a group called The Ventures. And how long that song was? The record that made the top 40? 1 minute and 11 seconds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was a cool song. Good morning, I'm Rayford Brown.
I'm Kelly Knapp. And I'm Lee Barris.
There's always a great bumper song you can use to do pretty much anything with. And
I'll need it tonight.
Why?
My first night at the Sheriff's Citizens Academy.
Oh, I thought you were going to the jail for a while.
Yeah, I'm only doing this for us.
I know you're doing it for you.
Because I'm going to do a report on it.
Yeah, there you go.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
And for those who don't know, Citizens Academy, this is like the 12th, 13th, 14th one I think they've had. Sheriff Miller, now retired, he started it way back in 2014 or early 2015, I guess. I think he took office in 2014. Not that I'm counting. I don't even know why I can remember details like that. Do you?
Half the time you don't even know your name. I'm impressed.
Have we said who we are?
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Wait a minute.
I had to check. My. What a time. The weather. Oh, let's talk weather.
It's chilly out there. I walked out. I'm like, what's happening?
It's flat cold and the temperature's still falling. It was 51 when I got up. It's now 49 outside the studios
Wow.
here.
It was 55. It was 55 at my house.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was
you live up there in
56 on my
asphalt jungle.
truck.
I live Western too.
Yeah, it was 56
It's like
on
4
my
minutes from here, but I hear you.
It's I got it out here where it's supposed to be recorded. Up
Well, you got a lot of trees
certain
and stuff where
height.
you are, yeah.
It had to turn pretty much everything off. I got one fan going right now, I think. And it's down as low as I can get it. Right there. That's to keep me cool.
Is that even? It's so quiet.
Yeah, it's so quiet. You can't hear it.
Right.
So how are you ladies doing okay? Everything good?
Doing good.
So what are we hearing?
Kelly
Yeah.
was just reading a bunch of reports and
Well, I'm not talking about us. I'm still getting calls and
I am
discussions.
too.
Where are you? What you
it's
doing?
like, don't go away, don't go away.
We ain't going
Look, y'all, we're not going away. We're just trying to, these
We're
things
working.
don't happen overnight, but we are going to be amazing.
we are working.
We're going to be a force to be reckoned
We may
with.
have something new to add.
That's right.
I was just starting to brief Lee when you walked through the door, so we will continue that.
Mhm.
We don't have any breaks, so you got to wait on.
That's fun.
You got to wait on pins and needles
That's
until 9
okay.
o'clock this morning. And I can't really go into too much detail because I don't have a whole lot of detail yet, but never fear. We ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, and I worked most of the day at working on we've got new logos, we've got
Mhm.
a lot of new stuff, and it just takes time to get
Oh,
all
it does.
that done, and a new
It's working.
website that's going to be coming up.
Yeah, we have secured. You guys
Yes.
secured a domain this
Yes, we did
week. Yesterday,
that.
wasn't it?
Sunday.
Sunday.
One. Yeah, that's right. We were here Sunday too.
Yeah.
Yes,
See, we didn't take a day off. We came in on Sunday to do some
that's right.
Do some planning and
strategizing,
planning
as they
and-
call
Oh,
it.
we had a lot of great ideas, and
I think some people in the law enforcement community will call that a conspiracy.
Call it what you want.
Yeah,
I call it greatness.
What it is, it is.
there's
Um,
going to be a lot of big things coming. I'm so excited about a lot of what we talked about, and I think our community will be excited also.
Okay, let's go back to the weekend for just a minute. Bring you up to speed. Tragic, very tragic situation in Hubert. Saturday night, about 11 o'clock, the Onslow Sheriff's Office got a call. Deputies responded to the call of a shooting. Arriving, they found 43-year-old Paul Salmon dead from gunshot wounds at the residence of Charlene Benjamin. The investigation indicated that 30-year-old Ryan Whalen had come into the home after 11 o'clock or about 11 o'clock. The resident, Ms. Benjamin, who's a hairstylist, and she had a salon in her home, and the victim were in the salon.
Right.
She was getting ready to cut his hair.
Right.
Their kids, his child and her child, were there too.
Mhm.
Whalen and Ms. Benjamin had been in a relationship that had ended. Information indicates Whalen was angry with her new relationship with Salmon. Officers with the Swansboro Police Department and the Highway Patrol located Whalen's vehicle a short time after the shooting. Deputies got there. They put a broadcast out with a description. As the officers approached the vehicle, they heard a single gunshot. Waylon's body was found inside, dead from an apparent gunshot wound. Sheriff Chris Thomas said the tragic case is an obvious situation of domestic violence. We talked about domestic violence yesterday
Yes, we
in
did.
great detail. In fact, we've talked about it a lot over the years. We've had similar case right here in Jacksonville a few years ago, infamous.
Mhm.
A lady was being stalked by a guy who she had dumped, basically. You call it what you want to
Yeah.
call it. She dumped him.
Yeah.
He stalked her. He even borrowed somebody else's vehicle or car so he could stay up with her because she wouldn't recognize that car. Did y'all know those details?
That I did not know till just now.
He pulled up behind her at a drive-through restaurant
Yep.
place. Bumped her.
Yep.
Got out, shot her.
Yes.
She lived for some period of time.
Yes.
She was in the hospital for an extended period of time, got out,
Right.
and then later succumbed to her wounds.
She did. Yes.
He went home. Does this sound familiar?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Police went to his house, and they found him there dead of a single gunshot wound,
Mhm.
self-inflicted.
She was a very
Well thought of,
well-respected
everybody
woman in
liked
the
her.
community.
I want to talk about the warning signs. What should we know? What should potential victims look for? Are there certain things, certain red flags they can do that can react to? Maybe to bring verbal abuse to a halt before it becomes physical abuse?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yes.
Seldom does it come out of the clear blue. So, but you've got to recognize the signs or be able to. You got to know what you're looking for, right?
Well, some of the things would be, what can often be overlooked or misconstrued even. Oftentimes stuff like subtle name calling, put downs.
Yeah.
Jealousy is a big one. And that
Yes.
fuels a lot of this. Who are you
we
talking
go.
to? Who's on your phone?
Yep.
Where are you? And then it becomes like isolationism, not letting them hang out with certain friends, or you can't go this place, telling someone what to wear, isolating them
Controlling.
from even family members. Those are
That's
the
a big
initial,
one.
yeah.
That's a very
Yeah.
big one. Arguments. Everybody has arguments.
Who are you looking at?
Yes.
Why are you looking at that person? Like, seriously?
Why is he looking at you like that?
Yeah.
Do you know him? Where did you know him
I mean,
from?
that right there, if you're in a new relationship or even one that's established, but especially new, and that happens, you need to leave immediately. It's not
Controlling
gonna
your
get any better.
finances. Controlling your
Yeah.
finances.
That's the beginning.
And
That's-
if you're in a relationship and it becomes like isolating from finances, you don't have access to a bank account,
Mhm.
for example, that's control. Because where are you going to go if you can't leave if you don't have access to money?
Arguments are two-way streets. You can't have an argument unless two people are involved.
Mhm.
Right? Period. You can be vicious towards a person verbally.
Mhm.
That's not an argument unless the other person is
just
responding.
being
But
hateful.
usually there are two sides, two people arguing. Not that a potential victim is to blame for what occurs, and definitely not that he or she asked for it or deserves it like so many people. She deserved what she got. You
No.
hear that?
But no one deserves something like that. I mean, because everybody has the ability initially, especially when there's those initial signs, to walk away.
If you got an argument going on,
To go see what's going on.
one side or the other has got to take an act
Mhm.
to bring a halt to this, right?
Well,
Sometimes both sides can agree to disagree and move on, but one side needs to walk away.
and sometimes, oftentimes you see that a victim tries to walk away and is unable to. They're like physically stopped,
Uh-huh.
or, I've even seen cases where if you leave, I'm going to hurt kids or
Yes.
hurt a family member, or, that kind of thing. And those threats often compel people to stay in a relationship when they don't want to.
There are quite often I don't want to say most of the time. There must be some kind of warnings, though, warning signs that will allow me, for instance, to know what the triggers that I should not keep pushing. If you're involved in an argument, a heated discussion, people like to call them instead of arguments. If you're involved in that, there are certain things you don't need to be pushing the buttons on the other person with, right?
Correct.
Right.
Just back down.
But sometimes people, especially in chronic, what I call chronic domestic violence situations, they learn very quickly to avoid arguments at all costs. Even the children will say,
Oh, yeah.
we knew, they're walking on eggshells, and that's traumatic for a kid.
I hear that. I've heard that so often. I felt
Mhm.
like I was walking on eggshells
Mhm.
every time I moved around the house from kids.
Yeah. Because they never knew what was going to set the person off, the adult off. A crying baby, a barking dog, a kids, fighting, toys on the floor,
Mhm.
TV show on, often trivial
loud.
things. Yes. 9 times out of 10, it's something dumb.
How important is a cooling off period during an argument?
I think it's important, but a lot of people don't implement it,
I understand
especially
that,
if somebody with
how
self-esteem
important is
issues. It's imperative because people react. And when you become reactionary, a lot of times that's where trouble begins.
the more heated the argument, the more likely it is something's going physical.
Grab a weapon or use a
punch.
fist or a kick or what. Yes,
Mhm.
because people react at that moment instead of thinking about it.
There can come a time through my history from doing
Mm-hmm.
things, dealing with individuals, where the weaker person,
Hmm.
I'm not going to say male or female, the weaker person in this case, will actually lash out during an argument with something, a hand, a stick, or whatever, not having thought through this process about how strong the other person is
Yeah.
and how violent the other person could become.
Correct.
And then you struck first, so you've just committed physical violence,
And I've seen
domestic violence.
I've seen it happen with a lot of couples that are fighting where one will egg the other one
Oh,
on to hit them
Yep.
I
so
had
they
that
can
happen to a
call
client.
along and say, he or she hit me.
Yep.
I had that happen to a client actually. And yeah.
Go ahead, hit me. I dare you. I dare you to hit me. If
Yeah.
you really want to hit me, don't you? Go ahead. I dare you.
Mm-hmm.
How's that?
Well, you
That
can
sound
blame the
familiar?
Me
Yeah.
Too movement on that.
Mm-hmm.
It's really got out of hand.
Do the aggressors ever tell you about the straw that finally broke their back? The aggressors. I'm sure you have had some of those.
I've had a few, yes.
Do they ever tell you that, okay, I'd had it up to here. I couldn't deal with it anymore.
No,
She
it-
or he just kept coming on and coming on and coming on.
Well, not so much in those words, but sometimes a lot of it was fault with everything the individual did.
Mhm.
Look what they made me do.
It's always the other person's
yes,
fault.
it's
You made
And
me do it.
sometimes
Yeah.
it may be.
The case I've dealt with has been very rare. It's been the actual the victim that did it. It
Mhm.
was the perpetrator just had a lot of them came from childhood domestic violence issues, which is why I say a lot of these kids that grow up in these situations grow up to be offenders because it's normalized behavior for them. It's what they're used to.
We've, in this community, we're unique, but not exclusively unique because we have military bases all over the country.
Mhm.
Coming back from a deployment, going from one extreme situation, military, male and females,
Mhm.
Marines, coming back home, and then things are just not calm, cool, and collected as he or she expected they would be.
Yeah, and the thing that sets the military off from the civilian world is the military, if they get wind of it, will issue an MPO, military protective order, and
Uh-huh.
confine the Marine to the barracks or
Yep.
remove them from the home.
Might be too late.
Yeah,
I mean, we see it all. We
Yeah.
read it all the time here.
I have quite a few clients, and I've dealt with both in the past and present that they're currently in an MPO situation where it's usually the wife and kids stay in the home, and the Marine is put in the barracks.
Yeah.
No contact. Yeah.
It's just, it's
Now,
hard all the way
the
around.
no contact, the domestic violence orders that say you will stay away in the civilian world. Let's
Mm-hmm.
go into the civilian world for a moment. You go down, you take out what is called a 50B order,
Yeah.
a domestic violence protection order. And as the spouse or partner or whatever.
Mhm.
And how effective are they in reality?
It depends on the situation. I've seen them be super effective, and I've seen them to be not effective at all. It depends, and honestly, in my opinion, it's almost up to the actual individual, the perpetrator.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If the guy that the order is against is a guy, and I use guy for male or female.
Mhm.
If the person is prone to violence,
Mhm.
has exhibited extreme violence, that order is a piece of paper, right?
Absolutely. Hmm.
What does it do in cases where
Nothing.
the person just does not care?
He does nothing. Does nothing.
So what else is there? What else can you do? There's nothing out there any more than a 50B order to protect
I
the
know.
person. You can call all you want. Hey, there's an order out. There's a protection order against this dude, and he is on my property. He
Yeah.
came here. He's followed me.
Yeah.
What are you going to do about it?
Exactly.
What are you going to do about it?
Well, let's
Yeah.
not forget we have a lot of avenues out there. We have the women's shelter,
We do.
and we have people like Kelly
Yes.
that can help you. So,
You're not going to protect them from a violent situation.
No,
no,
I'm gonna try to get him out of that
I
violence
That's right.
understand
situation.
that.
Yeah.
That's
That's
about
my-
the best you can
My
do.
bag of tricks, but yeah.
You can't go out there and stand guard.
Nope.
we've got the vigilante group that
Yeah.
we every now and then throw out there.
Yeah.
But, nobody really knows what we do.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, there's just not a whole lot of protection for somebody
Mm-mm. It's very
from
sad
an
and scary.
aggressor that is hell bent on doing bad things.
Yeah.
What can you do? What can society do?
Well, the problem is nowadays
Because he or she has to violate that and
they
get
have to
caught at
violate
it
it.
before he or she does physical damage.
But that's also where
Good luck.
we're in a day and age where people just don't want to get involved. And let's say they see a case where they're stalking the home, for example,
Mhm.
and the neighbors see it, but no one says anything.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
See
I had that
something,
happen
say
to a client.
something.
What do you think I'd be
The
doing?
neighbor saw the guy while the individual was at work going around the house and stuff, and no one, they finally told the individual, but this had been happening a week, 2 weeks.
Mm.
I mean, no one is 100% certain what went at the house while they were not there, but it's clearly something. That's scary.
Mhm.
Very scary.
What advice do you give your clients who've been abused or frightened?
First thing to do is get into counseling,
Yeah.
100%, because
But
you
I
have
mean,
to address that.
Immediately protect themselves.
Well, the first thing to do is attempt to contact law enforcement.
Mhm. Contact the cops.
Yeah, need to let somebody know.
Make sure and follow through, and follow
Yes.
through.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
If there's been an assault, don't drop the charges.
No.
You really can't drop the charges, but you can refuse to. It's a crime against the state of North Carolina. It's not
Yeah.
a crime against the victim. The
And
victim is a witness, and that's all.
Yeah. And I've seen cases where, like the prosecutor's office stepped in and said, "We're prosecuting no matter what." I mean, those have been extreme
Oh,
cases, but I
yes.
have seen it. I mean,
It does
I've
happen.
had a client end up in the hospital, and they're like, "I don't care if you want to drop or not. We're not dropping,"
can't
kind of
drop
thing.
it.
Yeah. And then I've seen, other cases where the individual doesn't show up, but that happens a lot. I mean, I've had individuals I've dealt with in the past that they had 4 or 5 protective orders, and then they dropped, situations where
Sure.
the person got arrested for some kind of abuse, and finally, after so many times, either that one moment occurs where you really think you're going to die, or something clicks. I'm not sure which. Everybody's different. That they finally stand their ground and say, "Okay, that's it. I'm not doing this anymore."
And then what happens when said individual who has been a victim
Hmm.
has to take the law basically into her or his own hands?
Yeah.
That looks awful when you claim it's self-defense, even though it likely is self-defense.
And a lot of times, that's why the documentation becomes key. You know, when you can show you went to law enforcement and you can show you're in therapy, and therapists take notes, at least they're supposed to. You know, you can,
Which they can provide
Yeah,
under certain conditions.
absolutely. And you video cameras, you know, cameras are key.
Yeah.
Text messages,
Oh,
which
yeah.
are admissible in court. Yeah.
Do
Email.
not erase.
Never erase
if
any
you're
of
the
that stuff.
victim, put a save on those suckers.
Yeah.
Send them to
And
somebody
give them to someone else. Yeah.
Print them out, make a log, do whatever you have to do. Never get rid of them.
I have clients that give me stuff and I put them in their file.
You can dump
I'll
them in
print 'em and
20
put 'em.
years
Yeah.
or so from now, but do not get rid of them now.
Yeah. I have a binder full for one client.
Oh, God.
Yeah. It's like 2,000 messages. It's a lot. It's super excessive. Yeah.
God, I
Yeah,
can't do
it's a
2,000
lot.
messages. My fingers,
I know,
my
they-
thumbs would be worn out.
They're always yelling at me at work for, you know, using the copy paper. Like, gotta print it, gotta have it.
It's
Yeah.
yours.
Yeah.
Do what you
So
want
I
to do.
know,
with
but
it.
it's like, stop wasting all our paper.
Mm.
But yeah. But I mean, you need to do, I mean, you know, silence is not golden in a case like this.
No, it's not.
So,
So, you know, and again, I'm going to go back to my old saying that I copied and stole from somebody else quite some time ago. Folks, neighbors,
mhm.
children, grown children, you see something, you know something, say something.
Yes.
Okay.
Tell somebody.
Keeping it to yourself is only promoting potential violence.
Yeah.
That can't be undone. We know some of it cannot be undone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. We
Very
still got a
good.
lot more stuff to do, and hopefully a lot of it's going to be more pleasant. And right now, we're going to talk a little bit about weather. And coincidentally, today's marine forecast brought to you by Community Prevention Services of Jacksonville. So many of the stories and issues we discuss on this show, we read about them in newspapers. They're related to mental health, and they seemingly are intertwined. Whether it's narcotics in the southern border, school shootings, domestic abuse, murder resulting from domestic abuse, so much of it is related to mental health problems. Some of the issues started as mental health to begin with. Some of the mental health problems we're dealing with today were caused by those other issues. The common denominator still is mental health, whether it's mental health to begin with or mental health that results from abuse. If you're seeing yourself whenever we have discussions on this show, if you have problems falling asleep because you're wondering if you're that person we talk about, it's likely you need some help. You don't have to give up. You need to reach out. There are counselors waiting to help you at Community Prevention Services, located right here in Jacksonville, but serving those throughout the region. CPS is locally owned. With its facilities located at 918 Henderson Drive, the counselors really want to help you, and you don't have to drive halfway across the state to get some assistance. Whatever you tell them remains confidential, and they accept most insurance plans. Whether it's substance abuse, maybe you're the victim of domestic violence or mental health or mental abuse. Mental abuse, we didn't talk too much about that, is bad too.
Mhm.
At Community Prevention Services, people are there to listen and to help you with a treatment plan that does not involve pills. Call today, 910-353-0972. That's 910-353-0972, Community Prevention Services of Jacksonville. Offshore today, what a good day for the next few days, couple of days anyway. Northeasterly winds, 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet, 3-foot waves from the east every 9 seconds. This is a good day for the ocean. Sounds and rivers, a moderate chop. Tomorrow, northeasterly winds, 10 to 15 knots again, seas 2 to 4, sounds and rivers, a moderate chop. Thursday, going to kick up just a little bit. Northeasterly winds around 15 knots, seas 4 to 5 feet, 2 to 4 near shore, sounds and rivers, a moderate chop.
Today, sunny, high of 82. Tonight, mostly clear, low of 57. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high of 83, with about 15-mile-an-hour gusts tomorrow. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy, low of 63. And on Thursday, partly sunny, high of 83, with around 17-mile-an-hour gusts. But from now through Monday, there's only like a 30% chance of rain.
Yeah.
And we're talking Friday over the weekend, nothing prior. So it looks great.
It's 49 degrees in Jacksonville at our studios right now.
It's nippy.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
out
I'm
there.
not complaining, but
I'm
it's,
not
it was
either.
nippy.
I think it feels great.
Yeah.
I love it.
I walked
This
out, I
is
was
my
like,
favorite
whoa.
time of year is
Of course,
fall.
in
It's
January.
just false folly.
Yeah,
You
well,
know
we
this.
all know that it's
Yeah.
false fall, but right now I'm enjoying the fake.
In January and
Yeah.
February, this 49 degrees is going to feel like a heat wave.
I agree with that
Yeah.
statement too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we got us a tropical storm. Another name
That's
storm.
why I moved
It's
it.
Oh, Francine.
Yeah, I'm looking. That's why I moved the chair so I can see the.
Those F name
I'm
storms.
telling you.
Fran,
Florence.
Francine, Florence. Let me
Yeah.
just make that clear.
Yeah.
Rayford gave me that look.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
No, I mean, the names that start with the letter
Mhm.
F from the alphabet. Yeah. They're always mean, but this one's already downgraded. So go ahead and give us the news.
Yeah,
on
it's
it.
all right. There is a danger of life-threatening storm surge for portions of the upper Texas and Louisiana coastlines. Storm surge warnings in effect. Residents in the warning area are supposed to follow advice. Good luck on that one, including evacuation orders given by local officials. It's a tropical storm right now. It's going to become a hurricane just before, well, probably later today or tomorrow for sure. And it will be moving towards the Louisiana-Texas coastline, that border area there. Some of that area is fairly low lying. I've been through there several times. It's
Yeah.
not nice with water.
Mm-mm.
And you can see up there
I'm
on the
looking at it,
radar,
yeah.
there's some, there has been some, there it is, some
Well, it looks
lightning.
like it moved over to the right just a smidge.
Yeah, well, that's what they call the wobble.
Hmm.
A storm
Mhm.
does not go in a straight path. It
Right.
wobbles in
It's
a hole
wobbling.
within the range.
Hmm.
It the interesting thing about this one, once it makes
Excuse me.
landfall as a hurricane, of course, it's going to pretty much die out fairly fast.
Hmm.
And then it's going to be moving towards the northeast. Well, Illinois,
I'm looking
way
at that
up
little-
yonder in Illinois,
Yeah.
is part of this path.
Yeah.
Once it starts towards the northeast, it's then going to curve back to likely towards the north.
Mm-mm.
Have the Great Lakes ever had a hurricane? I don't know.
I don't think so.
They're just going to
But
get lots of
it
rain.
won't be that strong,
Right.
but and once it gets up there further, they'll declare it no longer a tropical anything, and
It'd
a
just be
system.
messy. But they've
Yeah.
had a lot of rain in that area
Yeah,
this
yeah.
year anyway. I mean, sad to say they don't need the rain,
Yeah.
but they're going to get it.
They're gonna get it.
Mhm.
Heavy rainfall
Yeah.
and the risk of considerable flash flooding for much of Louisiana and Mississippi
Yeah, I'm looking at
through
yeah.
Thursday.
Yep.
Flash and urban flooding probable across portions of northeast Mexico and far southern Texas into early tomorrow, and the mid-south Wednesday night into Friday morning. There's going to be some rain associated with this. Now, this is not the only thing we got going on out there.
Yeah,
course
where's the
not.
other X? You don't have the other pulled up.
Well,
You've got that lightning thing going on over
radar
there.
is
There
blocking
it is right here.
That lighting thing is cool.
Down there in
oh wow, there's two more X's.
there are two of them,
Oh.
and one of them is kicking on up there. This has got an increasing chance of developing over the next
Does.
7 days.
Yeah, Lee just showed me that.
So it's the area. It's in the central Atlantic part between Cape Verde Islands and the Windward Islands right now. That's the closest one to
Yeah,
this
so
area,
yes,
this
yeah.
part of the world.
Yeah.
It's not. We don't know where it's going to go. They don't know where it's going to go. It has not formed up to anything with a definitive direction of travel. It's generally moving, wobbling towards the west northwest. I don't know where it's going to go. It's got mostly disorganized shower and thunderstorms. Environmental conditions, as they're saying, appear marginally conducive for some slight development during the next couple of days, but a tropical depression likely going to form or could still form during that time while the system moves westward. It's zipping along there at a speed of about 5 to 10 miles per hour, not very fast. Now, to its southeast, there's another one,
I saw that.
another X.
Yeah.
Another
It's a
X.
yellow X.
It's got, over the next 7 days, though, looking pretty good for it to develop into something. 70% chance of development over the next 7 days.
Nice.
It's between the west coast of Africa and the Cape Verde Islands. Environmental conditions appear favorable for gradual development.
Which way
A
is it
tropical
moving?
depression will likely form during the latter part of this week while the system moves west-northwestward at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Once it actually forms into a system,
Mhm.
a depression and then to possibly a tropical storm. It has some rotation at that point in time, and they call them steering.
Correct.
It
Yeah,
starts
yeah.
moving.
Kelly and I were just like, what if disturbance number
merge?
one slows down and,
And yeah,
number two catches up and they
Well,
merge?
it'd be
be
kind of
like a
like
superstorm.
it'd be kind of like a slow moving train getting hit by a fast moving train coming behind it. It's just going to
Yeah.
dissipate
Oh, okay.
Maybe the one time we all go to California for a visit.
and then fall off when the earthquake happens.
Yeah.
No, I don't think
Oh
so.
no, let's not go to
We
California.
could go to Illinois and wait for the
Wait for the
to
rain.
show up.
Yeah.
So, anyway, nothing to take too much for granted, but
Yeah.
y'all. I hope you've got your hurricane plan or your severe weather plan, and that you can pull down
Mhm.
and start thinking about things like, in case either one of these in the Atlantic is going to move in our direction. Dust that sucker off. Take a gander at it. Sit around in the living room tonight before you turn the TV on and start watching the debate.
Right, right.
And
yeah.
Oh, I forgot
that's
that's right.
another storm system getting ready to occur. Oh my God!
That's a category 5 getting ready to hit tonight.
Yeah,
I forgot that
probably.
was on today.
I think it might fizzle.
Yes.
I'm not going to believe that they're actually going to go through with it until I see it go on the
I'm
air.
with you on that one.
I
I'm
just-
just not
I-
sure.
What choice
Cause
do
she
they
could-
have though?
Well, of course, she's getting some cold feet. Some things are happening that she didn't want to happen.
Oh, well,
So
I
we'll talk about
understand that they've had her on a stage in bright lights as if she and practicing.
They
so-
have been.
But
She,
honestly,
we'll
with
see.
debates, I mean, I was even in debates in high school. You can practice, but
Did
you
you win?
can't.
Right.
What do you think? Come on now.
You didn't debate. You argued.
It's not the same thing.
Yeah,
I mean, come on now.
that's-
Oh, yes.
No, it's not supposed to be.
No, we
You're
had a good
supposed
time.
to debate the facts.
We did. Mhm.
Say, I understand that you put a pair of pink shoes on and whatever was slightly pink and the other one was a dark pink. Is that right, Kelly?
It wasn't.
Did
like
you
that.
ever do that?
No. No, I wear one black shoe, one blue shoe. Remember? Did that in here
I've done
one day.
that before.
Yeah.
Right slap to work.
You know, we had something happen over the weekend here in North Carolina that has gotten some press, but not a lot. Up at Cherokee, the Indian Reservation,
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
recreational
You
marijuana.
could go up there and
sales.
smoke to your heart's
You can
contempt.
buy and smoke on
Buy
that
'em.
tribal land. It's
You gotta
illegal
smoke 'em.
anywhere else in the state, but you can puff it up while
If
you're
you
there.
go to Cherokee and you buy the stuff there legally, you can smoke it while you're there. And
Yeah.
you better smoke it while you're there.
Yeah,
Because
'cause
if
you
you leave that
Smoke it like it's
reservation,
hot.
you are fair game.
Yeah, it's
You
And-
are fair game for North Carolina.
mhm.
Though there's not a whole lot of misdemeanor arrests for possession of marijuana anymore, but you can rest assured that if you go out there and you decide I'm going to bring a load back there
Yeah.
down here,
They're going to be waiting. on
I'm
you,
coming
yeah.
back down here to Jacksonville because I can buy that stuff. I'll go buy me a whole stash of it and I'll bring it here. Nope, that's called trafficking.
Yeah, and they made sure that
And
the law
will
enforcement
go
has
to
been
prison.
saying that they will. And yeah, anybody 21 or older, you have to be 21.
You don't even have to have a medical anything. No,
No,
kind of
this is
card.
recreational use.
Yep.
Yeah, they
So it's-
started with medical in
Yeah,
April,
they did.
and then now they've expanded just to recreational.
Did you see how much they're predicting they'll make this year?
Oh, they're gonna make a killing.
Oh, sure they are.
Mhm. And their
Way too
dispensary,
many zeros on the end of those numbers.
and their dispensary is right near the Harris Casino there. So
Oh, what better
Yeah.
place? Duh. Let's
Yeah.
take any winnings we got and go buy some dope with it.
yep, yep.
I'll bet you these 5 joints against your 5 joints.
They had a line. They had a line Saturday morning. People waiting
Yeah.
to buy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The earliest person there was at, I think, 1 a.m.
I would not be surprised.
I read that last night.
Yeah.
Good.
So this
golly,
is
Miss
gonna-
Molly.
So the tribe they're about to make a fortune.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
They're smart ones.
They're out there. Okay, if you're one of the 130,000 North Carolina voters that are requesting so far an absentee ballot for the 2024 general election, it's going to be late. It ain't coming on
That's
time.
right.
The ballots were required by North Carolina rulings to have been mailed on the 6th. Today's the 10th. They missed the deadline, but the courts got involved because of a challenged ruling by the North Carolina Board of Elections. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. withdrew his name from the presidential race a couple of weeks ago, but many of North Carolina's counties had already printed their ballots and they were ready to be mailed. The Board of Elections said, too bad, and declined to stop the process. The North Carolina Court of Appeals intervened and ordered the BOE to hold off mailing the ballots to those who had requested them. So if you were waiting for it, forget about it. North Carolina, it turns out, had one of the country's longest time to cast your vote by mail elections. The longest, one of, if not the longest in the country period of time to be able to vote. Imagine from September 9th, yesterday, when they would have been getting their ballots. They could have been mailing those things in, had already cast their votes 2 months before the election. What is wrong
Well,
with this picture?
May I say the state board of elections is stupid anyway? They knew this was all coming
Yes.
down. And, they are politically run by one side.
Yes.
And they were like, no, they jumped the gun. They knew it was coming. They spent all our money on ballots that they're going to have to burn now.
Hey,
Hopefully.
as a toss-up state, many say that's why Vice President Kamala Harris has declined to hold news conferences or conduct one-on-one interviews for fear that her presumed lead in the polls might change once your vote is cast by mail or when in-person voting begins, early voting begins on the 17th of October, then there's nothing you could do if you change your mind. The clock is ticking because 21 September is the federal date that all absentee ballots that have been requested must be mailed in this country, across the entire country. I think that's too early personally. If counties are forced to reprint the ballots without RFK's name, that could put North Carolina in violation of the federal law because they might not be able to get them back and get them mailed on the 21st. What do you think about that one? At that time, the state would have to ask for an exception based on court rulings beyond its control. Is this whole mess just a case of election interference? I'm not asking who, if anyone, is at fault. Just the basic question. Is it a case of election interference? Is it an opportunity for one candidate or the other, whoever loses North Carolina in November, to challenge the results of the election? I dare. I should not do it. I'm going to quote baseball's great Yogi Berra.
Yogi.
It's deja vu all over again.
Yeah.
One of the many noted yogiism, by the way. We'll let you know as soon as we know what the courts decided, when the ballots will be available in North Carolina. There's plenty of time. My God, go to the
What a
polls on the
time
5th.
to vote. You
Go
can
early
even
voting.
early voting.
In-person early
October
voting on the 17th.
That's right. That's right. You corrected me on that yesterday and had it October 17th. You're right.
What a pile
Yeah.
of
I'm just
doo-doo.
looking, talking about politics.
Oh.
So I'm looking up the polls ending September 8th. This is for North Carolina governor. And this goes all the way back
Does
to
anyone say, even give Mark Robinson one
August
small chance?
26th. And these are all who took the polls, like Beacon Research, Activote, So-Called Strategies. It's got a list of Florida Atlantic University, Polcom, and every single poll has Stein up by quite a bit. Every single poll. Yeah. Anywhere from
He's already ordered furniture for the mansion. What are you talking about?
anywhere from 5 points to 18 points. The latest poll shows him at 18 points.
And you know
over.
what? There's one person out there
Whew.
responsible for this. In a state that's dominated by the president in the presidential race being going to be a Republican, North Carolina's going to vote Republican in the presidential race. Anybody
Yeah.
disagree with that? They're
I
going
think
to
it's-
support Trump.
I think so, but I think it's going to be like right down to the wire. It's going to be very tight.
I don't think it's going to be as tight as a lot of folks think. But Mark Robinson had this to lose.
Yeah.
He had this race to lose, and he's losing it. He's run out of money, according to sources.
Yes.
He can't buy any more advertising. Anything that he's got, he's already spent.
Well, let's see how much money he's got.
Got
Let me
left.
look it up.
How much is promised to be spent?
Oh yes, I'm sure.
Earmarked.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But and from what I was told Saturday,
Mhm.
besides the fact they said his campaign's about out of money,
Uh-huh.
I was also it was also said that you think what you're hearing now is questionable. You just wait. There's going to be some stuff coming
The
out.
feds are getting involved in the great wardrobe or whatever it is called debate,
Yes. Oh, yeah.
the scandal.
Oh, yes. Yes.
The federal investigators are looking at that one.
Yeah.
So there are problems there.
Right.
Well, tonight's the night. In a little over 12
Tonight's
hours, 13 hours and
night.
14 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that. D-Day, the big debate day that some think will convince voters one way or the other who will move ahead in the presidential polls. Might move the polls one way or the other for about 24 hours. That's as good as the polls are.
Mm-hmm.
But unless
do
something
change.
earth-shattering is revealed, the race is going to remain the same until the 11th hour. We will likely know more about 11 p.m. on the 5th of November. There's a lot of time for major BS between now and then, and it's going to come and it's going to go. Lots of time for people to ask themselves who they will feel comfortable serving this country for the next 4 years. Kamala Harris has California experience as a DA and as a U.S. Senator for a short time from California that has no real relevance for anyone else. As the vice president, her critics have no clue what she's done for 3.5 years. And for the last 2 months, they have not had any real experience with her other than limited coverage at rallies, one interview that was mostly forgettable. The choice of a running mate, her choice of a running mate, has had more time with people than she has had. He's been in the public eye talking and answering questions more than she's had. And he's not running for president. And I'm looking for someone who feels any warmth for him. I haven't found anyone yet who thinks he's a cool dude. Not his family, that's for sure. Then there's
Did you
Donald.
see where a lot of his family
They're
publicly came out and said they were supporting Trump?
They got T-shirts supporting Trump. Then there's Donald Trump, the man who has rubbed people the wrong way most of his life. People don't like his brashness, his personal misdeeds, and most of all, what has been sold as his role in the events of January 6th. His other personal issues involve legal matters, a number of criminal convictions, none that can legally keep him from running for the White House, others that have yet to come to trial, and to be honest with you, probably will never go anywhere. Mm-hmm. His avid supporters don't care about his issues. Not sure why, but he offers them something they don't like that they've been getting. The supporters are not thinking Trump is an innocent babe in the woods, see the efforts to make sure he's not elected as politically motivated, and they don't like it. So many times, you've been to wrestling matches, not wrestling matches, right? Y'all seen them on TV. You know
yes.
what that is.
Oh, yes.
You pull for the underdog, right? You pull for the guy,
Always.
regardless of how sloppy or bad or irritating he is. When he's getting trounced, you pull for him, right?
Right. Even if you know he's going to lose that match, you still pull for him.
So who's going to win this one? Go to your dresser right now and pick up a quarter. Flip it 5 times. The best of 5 could be the next president.
Could be.
Regardless of who's at the helm, the next 4 years are going to remain one of the most contentious in American history. That's my feeling.
It's. I'm telling you, this is going to go right to the wire on this one. I really do believe so.
Yeah.
I mean, they both, like as far as the presidency, they both teeter back and forth, one over the other, and then it flips, and it's always within a point or two.
Yeah,
So.
and it's just like I wouldn't put any money on this one. I mean, in Las Vegas, I'd probably
no.
bet on both, just depending upon what the odds are. And see who
I'd like to
wins.
know what the odds are in Vegas right now on this.
They're probably
haven't
too
heard.
early to tell.
Yeah, right.
No. Again, this is going to be a day of the election, and depending upon how many people get out and vote between now and then, this is what, to be honest with you now, and whether you like her or dislike her, this is what Kamala Harris is counting on: early voting. garnish, get as many of those votes on your side as you can, but while you're still hot, while you're still doing fine in the polls. You don't have to campaign too much. You just got to maintain.
Here's some information for you. At the end of the second quarter, which ended June 30th of this year, cash on hand for Mark Robinson was $6,560,000. $6,560,000. Into the second quarter for Josh Stein, $15,918,000.
Well, both of them going to unload it between now and the election.
Oh, sure, but you see,
2.5 times to 1, though.
yes, you see who's, and I'm gonna tell you, usually the one. Well, it's gonna be interesting right down to the wire.
I just don't think Robinson's campaigned enough for the last 6 or 8 months to make it worthwhile for anybody.
Well, we had somebody, a listener, post that on September the 28th at the Rustic Barn at 6 p.m. It's free to attend. Onslow County, I guess, Republican Party is hosting a red rally, and Mark
Yes.
Robinson and other candidates will be there.
It's
Everybody wants to hear him speak.
yeah, she's getting ready to call in, and she's going to tell us about it. She asked if she could call in, but yeah, there's going to be a lot of candidates there, so give you an opportunity to go meet some of these candidates. And
Yeah.
yes, Mark
And ask
Robinson will be there.
Ask them questions.
Dan Bishop will be there. You know, he's running for Attorney General.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Of course, I'll be out of town that weekend.
Why not?
I'm going to go see my
Could you give me
race.
your Republican card and maybe I'll go?
You don't have to. You can go. You're invited to go.
Oh, really?
You should go.
Hot damn.
Mike Causey's going to be there. See,
I could slide in.
I'm going to
Michael,
miss Mike.
Michael would invite me.
Yeah. No, you can go in. Go in there. You need to go in.
I'll go in as
That's
his older
Laura
brother.
calling right there. That's Fran.
Yeah, it is.
Who is it?
It's
Fran.
Laura Linda.
Fran? You're not
It's
Fran.
Laura.
You're Laura. Somebody over here is lying to me and said it's Fran.
Oh, he loves to
Yeah.
hear you talk. He calls you Fran.
Yeah, I know.
It's Franny. So I wanted to, actually wanted to call in about 10 minutes ago to talk about the domestic violence stuff a little bit, but I had to wait till the kids get out the door for school
Understand?
so I could have some silence. But what a lot of people don't know about me is I'm a survivor of domestic violence. I was in a very violent marriage for about 10 years in New York.
Wow.
Yeah, and this goes back quite a ways. And it's a terrible thing. And I'll tell you that the scariest time, and Kelly could probably speak on this too, the scariest time, at least for me, was not the living in domestic violence. It was when I left. That was the scariest time.
Not having any idea what you were going to do, right?
Well, it wasn't so much that. It was, see if this tracks and makes sense, because it made sense in my mind. For those 10 years, as scary as it was every single day, at least I knew where he was.
No, okay.
You know, once I left, I had no idea where he was. And I don't know how it is, honestly, in North Carolina with the laws, but when you go and get your protective order, you have to put the address where you're going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So how does that keep me safe? He had to know the address where I was going to be so that he made sure he doesn't violate this order.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? So thank God I had my parents. You know, many people don't have any family. I could turn to my parents, and
Right.
that's who I went to, because there's nobody on the planet that's going to protect me like my father.
Being one, you can rest assured I understand.
Right. So, you know, that for me was the safest place in the world. But still, the mental torture of every noise, every creak, every shadow, you know, when I walk out to my car, is this the day, you know, that he's going to fulfill all those promises from 10 years of what was going to happen if I left. Plus, I had 3 babies in tow.
Mm.
You know, so honestly, I don't know what the answer is, but domestic violence victims need a place to go where they are safe and they can feel safe.
Yeah.
Because not feeling safe is horrendous.
Okay,
Yes.
Laura, you heard us talking earlier, right?
Mm.
So how close to being accurate? Which one of the scenarios were you? Was it something that an argument that, or a situation just back and forth for a period of time and escalating during all of that time? When did you first know that this could possibly turn violent?
Ugh. Rayford, I knew before I even got married. Looking back,
Oh, really?
looking back, I was just stupid. I was very young. I was like maybe 23. You know, I already had a child, and I wanted that nuclear family unit, you know.
Security.
But there were red flags before. I think I chose to ignore them. And looking back, you know, and then it started out very subtle. Starts out very subtle. You don't really realize when you're in it. And then, just like Kelly was saying, you know, it might start off with a little name calling, you know, and then all of a sudden you're not hanging out with your friends. Then you can't even go visit with your parents. And then, so they isolate you so that you have nobody to turn to. And eventually, at least in my case, when the name calling didn't bother me anymore, that's when he escalated. That's when he had to double down, you know. So, but I would say there usually were arguments, yes. And I'm not a passive person. Like, you know,
You
I'm
responded
aggressive too.
accordingly.
Right. And that's just me. Like, if you're going to hurt me, I'm going to, you know, hurt you back. You know, that's how it was. That's how the mindset I was in back then. So I'm sure looking back, maybe I should have been quiet. Maybe I should have, you know, I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. But, I mean, it escalated to the point where, I mean, I almost didn't get out of that relationship.
Or you said you maybe should have gotten quiet or stayed quiet. How long do you think that would have lasted if you had just shied away from him, go to the corner or go to whatever? How long would that have lasted?
It wouldn't last. But I think maybe in the moments I'm thinking, maybe I wouldn't have been physically hurt as bad as I was in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of like when you hear a victim of a sexual assault, you know, you hear victims sometimes say, look, I just gave in because I wanted to live. And if I give in, I can live through this. I guess in those moments it was kind of like that.
How important or how heavy did the presence of your children weigh on you during that time that you just could not leave or chose not to leave, even though there was the mental, physical abuse going on? How you know, I've got 3 kids here. How did that play into your picture?
And they were little. So my oldest was 5 and my twins were babies, like babies, like in diapers, babies. So of course I was always threatened that if I left, he was going to, you know, I would never get the kids, or he would do something to the kids. So there was that threat. But also, you know, in that moment of violence, you can't just run out the door. You have 3 babies, you know, you can't just run out.
Yep.
So it became more of a plan. I had to plan my escape. You know, it had to be thought out and planned, and I couldn't just leave in the heat of the moment. It had to be planned and executed with a court order in place that he didn't know was coming down, you know, and when he was not there, we packed, we left safely, and then he was served with a court order, which isn't a bulletproof vest.
Nope.
But it does start the process of now, if he does drive by my parents' house, he can get arrested because he's on motive. So,
Did he violate the court order?
of course. Yeah. Yep. Now, he never, obviously, here I am alive. He never followed through on the threats that he would kill me, but he violated it. He would push the envelope just far enough, you know, all the time. He was arrested several times for violating the protective order, but they go before the judge, they get, you know, bonded out in 2 hours.
Yep. Don't do this again, or I'm gonna put you in jail. Yeah, don't do it again, or you're gonna go to jail. Yeah, sure.
But also, you become, when you're in it and you're a victim, it's almost like Stockholm syndrome. Maybe, I don't know. The first time he was arrested was after he had choked me. I was almost unconscious, and the police arrested him. He was gone like 15 minutes. Do you know I was calling up to the jail? Hey, has he eaten? Is he okay? Did he get his medicine? Like, an hour before he almost kills me, and I'm calling up to the jail to check on him.
Did your daddy take you to task for that one? Yeah, the questions that I ask, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
I know the answers.
When you think back, like how sick you are, like, you know what I mean? You become a very sick person. Living with that, it's terrible. It's really terrible. But that was my experience.
Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're above it, beyond all of
Me
that.
too, Laura.
There's some,
What would the world be without Laura?
yeah. So
I know.
good
and
for
now I have
you.
an amazing husband.
So
Yes, you do. I love her husband.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, he is. He's such a great
Good.
guy.
good. Okay, now let's talk about some real disgusting stuff.
Yeah. Come on, Lord. Let's get deep into
Politics.
politics.
No, you got got an event coming up, right?
Yeah, actually, we have a few events coming up. So September 28th, the Onslow County GOP is hosting a red rally. That's at the Rustic Barn at 6 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
Mark Robinson's going to be there. There's going to be other candidates there. Hal Weatherman's going to be there. Totally free to attend. We just want people to come out, see Mark, see the other candidates, have a bite to eat, and just have a good evening. So that's coming up on September 28th. Tonight, we have a debate watch party.
Okay. I've got one in my house too, but I cannot attend a public where other normal human beings are watching a debate party or having a debate party. I can't do that because I'm not really nice when I watch debates.
Right, I got you. But so the Onslow County GOP, we're hosting our debate party at the Carolina Ale House tonight, 8 p.m. We're going to be in the back room where the TVs are, and we also play debate bingo, which is really fun. So you have to wait for the candidates to say certain things or whatever, and you mark off your space, and we have prizes for debate bingo, and we have a raffle desk. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Okay, here's the one I'm gonna mark off then for Kamala.
Yeah,
About 25 times.
yeah, for real.
Oh boy.
I'm really looking forward to the debate. I think it's gonna make a big difference in the election.
And just for anybody listening, Laura is the first vice chair of the Onslow GOP. So she is the one that's on the ground running continuously. I think Laura does most of everything, don't you, Laura? She's always just running.
Well, it's funny that you say running because I ran like 5 steps the other day for some reason. And you know what my Walter said?
Right.
He said, "Mommy, I've never seen you run."
Oh Lord.
I'm like, "Thanks, Walter. Thanks a lot."
You have now. Here I am. We're good to go.
But I love it. And I'm the second vice chair for the 3rd district, and that's a lot of fun too. And
yes, it is.
I love it. Like, if I love what I'm doing, I'm all about it.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you do. Glad you're going to keep people honest, or as honest as the people choose to be.
Exactly.
Okay.
Vote early.
What do you think about the delay in getting the absentee ballots here in North Carolina out to the people? Is it going to hurt who?
Well, it's election interference, number one. Listen, we have a Democratic majority in the State Board of Elections. That's why it's imperative that we elect Mark Robinson so we can turn that tide and finally have a Republican majority. Because I don't know if everyone realizes this, but when you have a Democratic majority in your State Board of Elections or your County Board of Elections are going to be Democrat majority as well.
Now, you were on the County Board of Elections at one time, correct?
Correct. Correct. Yes. Yeah, I was the secretary for the County Board of Elections, and because we have a Democratic governor, we have a 3-2 on the state, and then you have a 3-2 in every county, Democrat to Republican.
Right.
So, do I think it's going to hurt either candidate, the fact that the ballots are getting out late? Listen, I don't know why 130,000 people need to absentee vote. I'm not sure about that.
I don't
I don't know
either.
why that number is so high. I mean, years ago, you only voted absentee if you were bedridden or
We're going to be on vacation or out of the country
Right,
or whatever.
right.
Yes.
right. I don't know what, but I think with COVID, it'll just be like, you know what, I'm just going to sit home on my couch and vote.
Yep.
And that, that leads to cheating. It just leads to cheating. Ballots is the easiest way to cheat.
It's my time to chastise the whole system. All right. You ready for this one? I bet you nobody but me will going to think like this. I think one election official that I know, because he and I have chatted about it in the past, of those 130,000 ballots that have to be mailed out across the state, guess what every county still has to have? They have to have enough ballots on hand, the day of the election, regardless of early voting and regardless of the number of absentee ballots that have been mailed out. So they
Correct.
will have to have those 130,000 ballots on hand on the day of the election. They've got double ballots printed. Duh.
Correct.
Talk about a waste of trees.
Yep, and guess where the expense falls? The expense falls on the county boards of elections, who now are going to have to go to their county commissioners and ask for more money. And, that doesn't happen in 10 minutes.
Where are the tree huggers?
Right.
Oh, don't start that. Gosh.
But listen, I'm happy that RFK did what he did. I'm happy he got behind President Trump. I think it was a solid move. I think he realized that it was going to hurt him to stay in. And, I'm happy about it. And Donald Trump has promised to initiate a whole new investigation into JFK's murder. So,
Mhm.
that's interesting.
Well,
No. So Laura, real quick, y'all have something going on tonight you want to share with everybody?
Yeah, the
the
debate
debate
watch
party.
party.
That's what she just talked about.
Oh, did you? I'm sorry. How did I
At
miss
the
that?
ale house tonight.
At the
Ale
ale
House.
house. And if you've never been, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of
It
fun.
is.
They won't let me.
Order what you want to eat. I mean, it's on you.
No,
You pay for
watch
your
it.
own food, but it's fun to be with a group of people when you're watching something like that. Me,
No, it's
Okay.
not.
I'll get home just in time. So
You know what, Rayford? My dad's with you. He won't go to a Super Bowl party and he won't go to a debate party
Yeah.
if he wants to watch.
oh, Rayford's been to Super Bowl parties.
Yeah,
Yes.
too much. Too many times.
Oh well,
I'm going to say him go to sleep now.
the parties we go to are good.
Yes.
Yeah.
But nobody's watching
that's-
Super Bowl.
Yes, they
Yeah.
are.
Only 3 people.
More than 3.
Okay, 7.
I think the last time we were all sitting down on the back deck, but it was a good night. Yeah, it was a good night.
Aaron is rooting for the Cowboys. Of course, I'm rooting for my Giants. My son is a Kansas City fan. So at least one of us knows who the good teams are.
Y'all can fight a lot amongst yourselves, between yourselves, right?
We do.
All
We
right.
do.
All right. Art, thank you. Thanks for sharing the other stuff too. It's interesting. I'm glad you came out on top. That's the good
Yeah.
thing.
Me
Thanks,
too.
Laura.
Me too.
Much better
No
person
problem.
for it.
Listen, have a great day.
All right,
You
you
too.
too.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye. This is where I normally say, let's take a quick break and do something up, but I can't do that right now.
I know. I was
Speaking
getting
of
ready
which,
to,
though, y'all,
Huh.
we are going to be moving forward with a bunch of stuff. So,
Yes.
but don't wait till then, because right now, until all of that comes into play, you can get some really cool spots on this station right here with us.
A lot of emails went out last night, but I
And,
have many more to go.
For you, for those of you who are running for political office, you have an opportunity now to get in at a much lower rate than normal.
Mhm.
One time, you will
Absolutely.
never get this opportunity again. Take advantage of it. When the spot time runs out, when we fill up, there is no more. Can't put any more gas in your tank. When it starts to overflow, that's it. And when we overflow, it's done. So y'all need to get in, get hold of Lee. She sent emails out to a lot of the candidates in the area. First come, first served. Let's just put it that way. And when the food's gone, it's over.
The food is gone.
When the food's gone,
When the food is gone.
there's no more. We're not going to go out and get any more. But speaking of food, Saturday, y'all need to be
Yes.
at the Skills Center.
Yep.
Late afternoon, 4:00, I think is the start time. I don't know. I think I've got to be there about 4:00. There are going to be some candidates,
I
some
thought it
people.
starts at 5.
I think it starts at 5. We got to be there
We have to
set
be
up.
there early.
Wait
Yeah.
a minute, I have it somewhere here.
Get set up. It's called Men Who Cook, y'all.
Right.
And the men who cook with their supporting staff, or women who cook with their supporting staff. It's, all the proceeds go to the Salvation Army right here in Onslow and Jones counties. It's a 2-county event. I don't know where the details are.
Oh, I
but
see it.
We got them. But anyway, what's going to happen is a bunch of guys in the area who cook, or like to cook, or pretend to cook. It doesn't really matter. Going to prepare some dishes that they like, and they're going to. You get to have up to 3 ounces of that dish sampling as you go through. You buy tickets and you do this and do whatever. You get to sample all of the products that are there. Hello,
Yeah.
you could eat your dinner for the price of admission. It's $10, I think it is, for a ticket.
Yes, $10 per person for entry in order to eat. Kids 3 and under are free. Each dinner includes
How much are you charging for kids?
Free.
under
Under 3.
They're
Well,
free.
do I have to? Free kids. So if you guys want a kid,
No.
they're free. Come on, pick up
Stop.
one.
Y'all, he thinks he's funny. No one laughs
Each
at him.
dinner ticket
Oh.
includes door prize, chances, and a vote for the best dish.
Yep.
Vote for the People's Choice is $1 per vote, or six tickets for $5. And the doors open at 5:00 for the public.
Come on.
5 to
now.
7,
That's-
261 Northwest Corridor Boulevard,
Where
which
that,
is
where that is across from the
Trade
place,
Center.
is across the from where you pay your taxes. It's the county complex
now you
building.
just ruined
Well, it's
that.
across from them. It's
Why
not
do you
there.
want to
It's down the
put paying
street.
your
Because that's where
taxes in
everybody
the same
knows.
sentence?
Everybody knows where that is. So come on out 5:00 or so, and go around, sample everything that's there until it's all gone, and then vote for the one or ones that you like.
Redford won it last year, and
I
I
know.
strongly suspect with what he's planning to serve up this time, and people are going to have some tough competition with
We're not
Redford.
going to say what it is.
No,
but
we're not
there's-
telling anybody until Saturday.
There's hints in the studio.
Mhm.
There are
Well,
a couple of them.
Well, it's quite a few,
Yes.
but I mean, no one would ever get it because we put so many different things out here. We're not trying to let anybody
lie.
know. We do lie a whole lot. Come on now. So it's going to be amazing. Come on out. We'll
Yes,
be there.
We'll be there, and our uniforms are saran wrap, and that's going to be it.
I don't think so.
No,
But
Nope.
we're going to look cute though.
They're sweaty.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to be.
how do you
yeah.
know?
Saran wrap.
Paint yourself.
Yeah,
into
we're
that
gonna
corner, would you?
have cute outfits on.
We are going to look very cute. Our little booth will look amazing.
Yes.
It is. It's going
So-
to be decorated. And
We're
this is
gonna be-
this is a 2-category type of event. Now,
Mhm.
first is the food.
Yeah.
You like the food, you vote for it.
Yeah.
Second
Right.
is,
You like us? Vote for us.
there you go.
Mhm.
We're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 of us there.
There will be 4 of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
We
Unless I
have a
bring the
team.
dog.
We're not
no.
bringing the dog.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, he would get all the votes.
Well, yes, but then someone have to. We're just going to be busy. So we can't
Anyway,
watch him.
we can have a dog sitter too. No, anyway, that's going to be on Saturday. It's going to be at the Skills Center and Northwest Corridor Boulevard.
And this is a good fundraiser for the Salvation Army,
It's
by the way.
one
So
of
we're
the
supporting
two-
a great
It's
cause.
one of their 2 primary fundraisers.
So you get to fundraise, do a good deed, and eat amazing food.
Yep.
How can you go wrong with food? Come
Yeah.
on now.
I fixed a pot of sampling using
Yeah.
a very
But you're
small,
tweaking it.
very small part of the
Mhm.
product that I got.
Yeah.
Right.
And let's just say, I
Made
got
your-
it
made your
tweaked
eyes
just a little
water?
bit.
So you need to cut back
I-
on something.
I cleared my
Oh,
sinuses for the
Lord.
next
We're not
6
trying to kill
months.
somebody.
No, it really wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
I didn't have any issue. Robbie sampled it last night. She said, you may want to back off on that just a little bit
Okay.
on one of the products that I put in it, which
Right.
was pepper flakes.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely you'll
That
have
can
to-
cause an issue.
A
Yeah.
little bit go a long way.
It does.
Let me
Trust me, I've
I
made
can't-
that mistake before.
I can't
And
do
Yes.
a lot
this
of pepper
little
flakes.
about a pint, maybe 2 pints that I cooked on
Mhm.
Sunday, Monday. What's today? Tuesday. I cooked it Sunday, and then I put just a little bit in there, and that will take care of the entire 16-quart pot that I'm going to do. That same
Nice.
amount,
Okay.
and it'll be just about right then.
We're excited.
So, but it is
It was a
tasty.
lot of
It is
fun.
really tasty, and
Mhm.
I'm going to have some more for breakfast.
Yeah, it was a
Nice.
lot of fun last year, and it's for such a good cause.
It is a great cause, and we'll be out there. Like I said, look for the cutest booth out there. That's going to be us.
Here's what I'm going to be saying. There's
Uh-oh.
not going to be another dish like this one.
Oh, I can promise you guys that. Guaranteed.
I got originals. I've been planning an
Mhm.
original since last year.
Mhm,
My last year's original was crab bisque.
mhm.
And it was so good.
I had some like
I think you should make a face cream out of it
I
because
had
it was just like
one person that came by and said, "What is this?" After they had eaten it, and I told them what it was. I should have read the sign. I don't like crab, but I love this. Can I have some more?
Yeah.
So,
Come on. Yeah. Come on.
don't be afraid to taste something because you've never tasted it before. Okay,
Right.
you don't know whether you like it or not, and you don't know whether, even if you've been on vacation into some
Mhm.
locations and they've had this same product there. I've had, oh my God, probably 25 different versions over the years until
Mhm.
I picked apart the one that I really liked, and then I modified it, and then I came up with an original recipe. That's what this is. It's an original recipe, and I might even print it out and hand it out in
Maybe.
case y'all are able to do it. But
Yeah.
anyway, it's got to be done in the stages that I did it. Otherwise, you screw it up. The only recipe that I really follow the directions on, and it's my own. How's
What
that
if we
sound?
could bring, and this is a question, we may need to ask Royce this. Can we bring like a little microphone and a little speaker to talk to the crowd? Or we
He
not
said,
I got one over
I
there.
think if I'm not mistaken, he said that
They're going to go around with
each team would be, if you have entertainment that you want to
allowed? We
provide.
have all that.
and-
Come
Yeah.
on. Between
Yeah.
me and Rayford,
I got
Heck
a little.
yeah.
I got a small.
I do too.
A small one.
and I got a microphone.
I got a well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you could sit there and play music, but I think if you wanted to do a skit or something, you could probably.
Why don't we
go
just
front
talk
and do
like a
skit.
auctioneer thing, getting everybody up to our booth? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, sure.
talk. Get
Well,
them
you
over
don't
there.
want to overpower everybody.
Well, that's what I'm
else.
saying. That's why I was asking.
But just the people in your immediate vicinity, right there. Come on
Well,
down. You ever tried something like this
Well, I can
before?
talk loud. I
What if
don't
we
need a
pay
microphone.
somebody to
Ah,
go and
okay.
plug everybody else's pots? And
No, that we
pans?
don't need to. Rayford's concoction is going to speak for itself.
Yes.
I spoke last night. That's
Mhm.
Robbie.
Yeah.
Right,
so
right.
I'm not. We don't need to worry about that because he's going to blow
It's,
everybody away.
It's fun to cook, and
Mhm.
you know it's. For those of you that don't know, I'm a photographer.
Mhm.
I like photography.
Yeah.
I used to like it as fun. I'm back to liking it as fun again, but because I was a commercial photography for so long,
Mhm.
photographer for so long, that's all I did day in and day out. And you know what? When you do something for a living, it takes the fun out of it sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I used to love to just shoot the photographs that I wanted to do. I told somebody one time I could spend, and I actually did, when I was doing a blog way back
Mhm.
before I got into this gig, I was bored, so I started a blog, and I went into the backyard. I spent half a day into my backyard, and smaller than this backyard,
Right.
and I shot close-ups of this. I mean, have you ever gotten down on the grass and shot close-up pictures of things like
No.
butterflies or things like
Can't say as I've had.
bees that are
that.
working the bushes, working the blossoms.
Right.
You ever done anything like that? That is a completely different world when you get down there.
Right.
And for you guys, you
Right.
want to be photographers, or you guys who want to like to shoot photos and you just want something different, when you're at an event, drop down to your knees. If you're shooting your kids, don't shoot them from your viewpoint, from your standpoint. You're
Mhm.
too tall. They got to look up. Get down to where they are and shoot their perspective. See what they see. So anyway,
Mhm.
okay. Back to news. Back to stuff. Anybody else
Back
want to
to
call?
stuff,
Anybody
back to
want to
stuff.
chat this morning? The number
Yeah.
is the same, 910-333-0139. We'll
That's
talk
it.
about pretty much anything you want.
Yes.
910-333-0139.
Well, I do want to have one thing I want to say.
Let her rip.
I want to thank people for contacting me when I was sick.
Oh, yeah. Were you sick?
Yeah, no.
I thought you were on vacation.
Yeah, I wish. Yes, I was sick. I had COVID, for those that some people know, some don't.
We kept it quiet.
Yep. And I had it bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say something about that. One, I'm 98% sure I know where I got it from. It was the doctor's office. So there's that.
Well, that's what doctor's office has got sick
Yeah.
people
So
in it.
now I'm telling you what, I'm not going to the doctor anymore. It's just not going to happen because this tore me up. But the second thing is, I learned something about COVID. It makes me think, and this is literally in my opinion, I want to go on record as saying this, about what my theory about why it's spreading like it is. First of all, I had that new strain,
Yeah.
whatever. It's a doozy, I'm going to tell you. So my fever only lasted not quite even 2 days.
Right.
And, fever will make you feel bad. And
Uh-huh.
it just
Oh,
does.
yes.
And this was just rough. I had a very specific sequence of events of my sickness, and some things lasted the whole duration, some others. But the fever only lasted from Sunday night to right before noon on Tuesday. And then my fever was gone. And I felt better. I mean, I didn't feel great, but, when your fever goes, you just feel better.
Sure.
So I thought, man, okay. But I was still testing positive.
Mhm.
What I think is happening with some people is by Thursday, I did feel, quite a bit better. I mean, I was definitely still sick because I was still testing positive. But, and my doctor said, as long as you're testing positive, you're contagious. But my point I'm trying to make is, I'm wondering how many people, once they start to feel better, aren't retesting and are going out among other people.
It's
And
a
that's
really
how
good
it's spreading.
theory,
Yeah.
probably a likelihood.
And that's what I think, because I felt a significant difference.
So tell me what got you better.
Yeah.
One, your chicken soup. Rayford made me this chicken soup, and I'm
It
gonna
was
tell you guys
amazing
what.
soup.
Oh my! Even Robin ate it, and he was like, "This stuff's awesome."
Mhm.
This was amazing, I have to say.
Well, see, I had to test it for you before he
did.
sent
Yeah,
it
I'm
to
glad
him.
you did.
It was so good.
This chicken soup was amazing, and
You can cook stuff, but like soups especially, and chowders and
Mhm.
whatever. You can cook it and eat it right away.
But you have to make
But-
it with love, like
But
you did.
I didn't make it with love. I just
Yeah.
put it in a refrigerator overnight
You
too.
did a
Well, you've
great
got
job.
to cool it down
Mhm.
Right.
and then bring it back up. Soups, the stuff that's in the soup, whether it's noodles, the chicken, or
Mhm.
whatever else, it absorbs the flavors when it cools down. Let's go to boiled peanuts. You
Mhm.
can't, I do.
Yeah,
Lee had some while
Yeah.
you were gone.
yeah.
You have to
Yes,
turn them
those are
off after you cook them, and then they have to cool down. And a pot that I cooked them in is a 60-quart pot, so you
Mhm.
can imagine
That's
it
huge.
cooled down
Yeah.
all night long. And then the next day is when you take it just right.
Mhm.
The first batch wasn't just right. I had to bring it up to a boil again and add more salt because I didn't add enough salt to that 60-quart pot. The first batch, I had to cool it down a second time. And then the second time around, oh, there you go. They weren't cooking anymore. It just opened up their pores. And then as they cooled down, it all came in. The same thing happens with soups and chowders.
Well, that chicken soup, I'm gonna tell y'all, this was amazing.
That's a hint, y'all.
Yes, it was so good. It was the best I've ever had. It was amazing. It
Oh,
was
good.
so good. And
So
then
I'm glad you enjoyed it. And it
people-
works too.
with my COVID, I tested positive for over 10 days.
Yeah. Which
and,
is unheard of.
and by the time, day 9 or 10, I felt amazing, but I was still testing positive, which is why I knew I was still, well, the doctor said you're still contagious. So that's why I'm telling people, even though you feel better, please test yourself, because I'm telling you, I have never been
Get
this
2
sick.
negative tests
Yeah,
2 days in a row
Yeah.
before you resume normal life.
I did 3 just to be sure.
Well,
because,
whatever. Do at least 2.
yeah, this was rough. I don't ever want to get this ever again. And now I'm scared to go to the doctor. Like,
I have some good
Yeah.
friends that had it same time you did.
Mhm.
And the gentleman, he said his lasted 8 days. His wife's lasted 10.
yeah,
Wow.
Same
mine
type
was
of
at like
things
11
that
days
yours
total.
was
Yeah.
doing, right?
It was, but I think what's happening is because once that fever goes, you feel better. I mean, I didn't feel great, but I definitely felt better. I think people are just not retesting. And some guidelines I've even read on the internet say you don't have to retest. I call BS on that. Yes, you do. People, if you don't want your loved ones to get this, and I isolated myself, and it
Good.
was rough.
Should have.
I was incredibly isolated. It was awful. But I did it the right way. I didn't want my mother to get sick. I didn't want my husband to get sick. I didn't want anybody to get sick. And I've learned laying in bed. Well, my doctor gave me a choice: bed or hospital. Y'all know which one I chose. Hospitals, you can't get no sleep. You can't get no
And
rest.
You're also around sick people.
You are. Like I was like,
There are
I'll just-
other diseases in that
yes,
hospital.
I'll be sick in my bed. But I did drink a lot of fluids. But your chicken soup was amazing, so I want to thank you for that.
You're
But
welcome.
I just want to urge people: if you have COVID or suspect, get tested, and please, even if you feel better, retest. So I just don't want to see this spread all over, the county. Like this is rough, and I could see a lot of people having a lot of issues with this one. So that's all I wanted to say. But thanks for everyone's well wishes. I had a lot of messages and stuff from people, and
Well,
I
good.
really appreciate it.
Good. I'm glad they were reaching out to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we stayed in touch pretty much
Oh,
every
yeah.
day
Oh,
just to
yeah.
make sure.
Yeah. And I some days I couldn't even get out of bed. I crawled to the bathroom. It was bad. I did not take this lightly at all.
I did in the text messages and the
Mhm.
Skype messages and the emails and stuff like that. I did put a filter on my income.
I don't blame you.
Just to
Yeah,
make sure
just to
it
make
wouldn't
sure
come
it
through
wasn't
the
go through. I don't
internet.
blame you. I
I'm
get.
paranoid, y'all. I'm paranoid.
Yeah.
Just because I'm paranoid doesn't mean somebody's not out to get me.
And I did sit out in the sun. I would go sit out in the sun a little bit when I could get out there. That was like probably day like 5 or 6. But
Well, you should have been burned up by that time.
but there were bees. Did you know there's still wasps out here?
Yes, I know that.
Where are these wasps coming from? I don't ever remember
I
them
think
being
they're
this
from
late.
China.
Well,
They came
they're
across the
awful.
southern border. Mixed
I'm
with
gonna tell you
fentanyl.
what, I agree. These wasps, I mean, they made it impossible to stay outside long. It was swarming me. It was terrible.
All right, marine forecast brought to you by Community Prevention Services of Jacksonville. We've heard again. We just heard from our friend
Mhm.
Fran. I'll
Mhm.
call her
Laura Lynn.
Fran
Yeah.
Drescher
Yeah.
Lower Lynn.
Yeah.
about the abuse that she put up with,
Mhm.
the violence that she put up with, and how she ended up getting out of it,
hmm
and how long it took. It was not something that's easy.
It's not.
We hear about those kinds of stories on this show. We talk about them. We read about them. We get them in person, like
Mm.
from Laura.
hmm
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, the one thing I did not ask her, but I should have. The one thing that I've harped on: how mentally ill was this other person? In some form or another. I'm not talking about crazy wacko. You send them to the loony bin.
hmm
But mental illness comes in all shapes and sizes and descriptions, right?
Right.
Sometimes it's anxiety, sometimes depression, sometimes it's substance
That's
abuse.
all mental
Sometimes
abuse,
it's-
mental health
Yeah,
issues.
and sometimes it's like I said, environmental. You're grown up in that
Uh-huh.
situation. It's normalized to you. It's like just this is what everybody does.
You just don't know the
yeah,
difference.
you don't. Yeah, so yeah,
Narcotics,
hard to say.
narcotics coming across the southern border. I mean, that creates anxiety for me.
Yes,
When I read, like I did recently 2 weeks ago, is the story about a pharmacy in this country.
that's creative anxiety for me.
A primary pharmacy. It's because I've got these pills that I got to take
Same.
because of that stupid heart thing.
hmm It makes you afraid to take your medicine. Yes.
Yeah.
It does.
I'm at the point that
Mm-hmm.
right now I would like to open every bottle that I get when I go to the drugstore. Say, okay, I'm taking out one. You take one of the next one, and you take one.
Well,
Give the pharmacist one. Who is responsible for this?
Well, you know
Somebody
that-
ultimately should be held responsible.
They actually make fentanyl test strips.
I know they do.
And you just put the strip inside your pill bottle,
Uh-huh.
and it will detect the presence of fentanyl.
That sounds like a market in itself.
Yeah,
But how do you trust them?
they're accurate. I went to a demonstration on one. They're
Yeah, I know,
super
but
accurate.
the ones that you can buy,
Yeah, but these you get like you order them from specific vendors.
we got to find out, make
Yeah,
sure that
I
they
know
got
who they are. Yeah,
Okay,
we have
well.
them at work. Yeah,
because really that creates paranoia. Now, paranoia is a mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
paranoia can make you really
Nuts.
make your life very challenging.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it really can.
So much. Well, we're still talking about community prevention services.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Let's finish that advertising.
So much of this domestic abuse is related to mental health problems.
Right.
And unfortunately, that's much of it can result in mental illness for the victim, right?
Correct.
They become
Mhm.
abused,
Mhm.
looking over the shoulder for the rest of their lives, perhaps.
Yeah.
We heard Laura. She went a long time worrying. When she was living with the person, she knew where he was.
Mhm.
When she was gone, she didn't know where he was.
Yeah.
The unknown
It happens a lot.
is a tragic situation. It's scary, isn't it?
It is.
That's what paranoia is about.
I have a client dealing with that now, actually.
If you're seeing yourself when you hear us talk about things like this, if you can see yourself feeling the same way, now's the time to reach out for some help. There is help out there. Community Prevention Services, locally owned, right here in Jacksonville. They aren't owned by some conglomerate somewhere else. They're owned by people right here.
Yep.
They got counselors right here. Counselors that you will know. They're located here. They don't have any chain operations in Durham or
No.
Raleigh or
Mm-mm.
Asheville or whatever.
Nope.
They will help you. They will not do it with pills. You don't get, if you think you're going to go there and get some drugs for your problems, you're not going to happen.
No, but we work with people's primary cares. But
You
yeah.
work with a primary
and we
care.
have other people that we refer to for meds. We don't do
You
meds.
can suggest it.
Hmm.
It's up to them.
And we'll do the testing for what they need. Yeah.
Yep. Whatever you tell them here remains here.
Yep.
Nope. It ain't going to go nowhere else.
Mm-mm.
It's confidential. They accept your insurance plans. Most of the insurance plans in this area, they accept anyway. So
And we
you're
found
good.
we accepted one we've never even heard of. So
Really?
yes.
Oh, well,
Yeah, I
good. So
didn't
they
know
add-
it was some weird. Yeah, it's
so
weird.
you added on.
Never heard of it,
Add
yeah.
another one to it.
Yep.
So whether it's substance abuse, maybe you've the victim of domestic violence or mental abuse, at Community Prevention Services, people are there to listen and help you with a treatment plan that does not involve the pills. Call today, 910-353-0972, 910-353-0972. I'll tell you what will be good for your mental issues right now. You're tired, go offshore. You can do it this week for the next couple of days with glee. Northeasterly winds, 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4, a light northeasterly breeze. 3-foot waves from the east every 9 seconds. This is a good day for the ocean, sounds and rivers of moderate chop. Great day there too. Tomorrow, northeasterly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4, sounds and rivers of moderate chop. And on Thursday, northeasterly winds about 15 knots, seas 4 to 5, 2 to 4 near shore, sounds and rivers of moderate chop.
Today's sunny, high of 80. Tonight, mostly clear, low of 57. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high of 83. And tomorrow, looks like there could be gusts with the gusts as high as 15 miles an hour. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy, low of 63. And on Thursday, partly sunny, a high of 83 with 17-mile-an-hour gusts. Now, those 2 days are the only days currently showing as being gusty, but I have a feeling it'll maybe Friday too, but it doesn't say. Friday's going to be mostly cloudy, but not rainy. So
Yeah,
who
that's
cares? Yeah.
Tropical Storm Francine, the 8 o'clock advisory, 8 a.m. our time advisory. It's an interim advisory. 65 mile per hour sustained winds.
Hmm. It's getting
It's
there.
moving towards the north at 5 miles per hour. And yet later today, tomorrow at the latest, this will be a hurricane, not much of a hurricane. And once it picks up speed, it'll move fairly quickly towards Texas, the north and western part of Texas, right along the coast there, and Louisiana, and will come ashore, downgrade quickly to a storm and then a depression, and then it'll be just a mass
Hmm.
of stuff, and it'll be heading up towards the Illinois, Indiana area. So they'll have some rain and some flooding because it's got a lot of water in it. It's been accumulating water for what, a week now? 2 weeks? Seems like.
Yeah.
This is the same storm that came
Mhm.
across
Yeah.
into the Caribbean,
Mhm.
traversed the entire Caribbean at breakneck speeds of 5 miles per hour,
Mhm.
went the whole length of the Caribbean, crossed over the Yucatan Peninsula,
Yep.
and is in the Gulf of Mexico, bordering on the coast of Texas and Mexico.
Mhm.
So that's what's there. Lee, you
Yeah.
had something you were looking at.
Yeah, I was. It's a story came out about a long lost copy of the U.S. Constitution that was found in a North Carolina filing cabinet,
Uh-oh.
and it heads up to auction now. I was just pulling that up.
Really?
Yes. Is Asheville historical document appraiser and collector Seth Collar spreads a broad sheet of paper across a desk. It's in good condition, and he can handle it carefully with clean and bare hands. There are just a few creases and tiny discolorations, even though it's just a few weeks shy of 237 years old.
So it's a copy.
It's
Now, how do you get a copy? They didn't have machines in those days. Did they have to do it all over again and everybody sign it again? How many copies did those people sign? That's what I want to know.
But there's
Yeah.
going up for auction.
Think about it.
It's going up for auction, so you have a chance to bid on it.
I got $1.98. Can I get some help?
Oh my lord.
Right.
Oh, maybe $2.98.
It's going to be for sale at a Brunk Auctions on September 28th in Asheville, North Carolina. How exciting that
That is
would be to
great.
find something like that.
Would you sell it?
No. Well,
Think about how much money it would bring. Would you sell it?
it's one of about 100 copies printed by the Secretary of that Congress in 1787, Charles Thompson. Just 8 are known to still exist, and the other 7 are publicly owned.
Huh.
Yeah. Wow. I wonder how much something like that would run.
Oh, we got to call her. I can't
How
see
do
who
you
it
miss-
is.
It's Joy.
Can we sing Joy to the World?
Joy to
Joy.
Hey,
to the
Joy.
world. Hey, Joy. What's up?
Good morning.
How are you?
How are you?
How's everyone?
Doing
You know,
good, Joy.
the
Hope
gang-
you are.
Hang in there, girls.
The gang's all here.
I got a knot tied through into that rope, and I'm still holding on.
That's good.
Yay. Yay.
I'm glad to see Kelly's back.
Yep.
Glad she's doing
We
well.
are too.
Yes.
Real quick, I have a loved one that has paranoia, and when you were talking about that, and it is very difficult to deal with because the person that you're speaking with at times, they really believe some of the thoughts and the things that they do are not like, it's very difficult to, people see them as bad people, but they're not bad people. You can't change someone in their mind that they think that something is really happening. And a lot of people these days don't understand how difficult it is for not only the individual, but the people that are dealing with that individual. I mean, just like us, I guess we're all normal, but we all have some issues. And it's just difficult. So I think it's wonderful that Kelly has a place and other people that people can go to help deal with these, because you can talk blue into your face and tell them this is red and they say no, it's black, and there's nothing you can do. I mean, their mind just operates that way. No one else is terrible.
Yeah, it is. It comes in so many shapes and sizes. I guess probably all of us have some sort of mental illness of some sort. If you want to classify anxiety and depression, it's how you deal with it as to how far you have to get involved in this kind of stuff too. Most people can live with it forever, and a lot of people don't even know what it is. They don't realize what they got.
And my loved one has been diagnosed with certain illnesses that involve paranoia, and of course he did something that he thought was not wrong, but it was wrong, and now he's incarcerated.
Oh, yeah.
And you're just sitting there and you're getting your meds and you're just sitting there and you're waiting for your court date, blah, 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 blah. But in their mind, when you try to explain these things, this is what you did, but there's always the thing, well, I needed help and that's all I needed to do. They don't understand that you cross a line. If someone has a no trespassing sign in your yard, you don't cross that line. But in their mind, if they're in a psychotic episode, in their mind, they're reaching out for help. But it frightens people, and I totally get that.
Yeah, some people do
But
not
the
know how to
sad
deal
part
with it.
No, and the sad part is there's no facilities anywhere in North Carolina for people with mental illness. You can find drug and addiction, but there's such a lack of facilities and for these people. I mean, you can sit in jail 8, 9, 10 months with your mental illness where you need therapy, and you're not getting it. You're just there. Well, the longer you sit there, you don't see the outside light. You're already low on vitamin D, and then you get your medication, and the anxiety becomes more, the depression becomes more.
and not knowing the unknown is worse for them. It's really a sad situation that a lot of people are in, because you don't really have anywhere else to put them. And even the people that work at the jail or wherever, they agree. I mean, there's so many people incarcerated that do not need to be there.
I agree with that.
But there's no other place for them.
Yeah.
They expect
Exactly.
they expect law enforcement. We, the people, expect law enforcement to be the catch-all.
But
the
that's
people
not
that we
law
have to reach.
enforcement's job.
Well, whose
No,
job
it's
is
not.
No.
it? Then who's going to do
It
it?
is not their.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Without them doing it, it's chaos.
Yes, and they agree, but at least you know that they're safe. I mean, and they give them their meds, of course, and they see, I guess, whatever, periodically with the psychiatrist. It's really not the law enforcement's jobs to
Nope.
take care of these people.
Nope, not at all.
But and they agree that these individuals that are in there do not need to be there. I mean, they are sick with a real illness that's in psychiatric medical books, and we were just so. It's just mental health is very important. I mean, it's very, very important. It not only affects the victim, but it affects the family. So which explains why I'm as crazy as I am, because
Yeah.
what I have to deal with.
Oh.
No, really, it's really sad that North Carolina and many other states do not have the support. In the beginning it was substance abuse, addiction, and then the opioid. Once that opioid started jumping in, you sort of like backed off of all the mental illness and all that. Now we're all to the opiate, but it's like we skip over things to what's ever going on at that present time. You got to start at the basis of why this began and how come. Some people do these things because they want to self-medicate because of their mental illness.
True statement.
That's
Called dual
absolutely true.
diagnosis. Yeah.
And that's what happens. And a lot of these medications, they help the mind tremendously. But you start feeling better, you start feeling okay, which is the medication. But in your mind, you're thinking, well, I don't need to take these meds any longer.
Yeah.
Hello, yes, you do. That's why you're feeling better. But anyways, I just want to say that paranoia I've even experienced paranoia before. I mean, I think we all at certain times, if you see someone suspicious or looking or whatever, but you can imagine living with it like daily. Somebody could be talking over at the corner and sometimes your mind might flip to like, what are you talking about me for?
Yeah.
And they really think that in their mind, and even if you explain to them that they're not talking about you, they're just talking, but it's sad. It's just really sad. But I'm glad that Kelly has what she has for business and everything she's there to help other people.
It's sorely needed, and we need more, and we also need some additional care facilities
Mhm.
because
Oh, yeah.
you don't keep them overnight.
I've
Yeah.
been trying to get somebody into inpatient treatment for going on 9 months now, and I'm telling you, I get frustrated. People want to know why I stay so frustrated. You just don't understand. Like when you need to help somebody and you can't help them. It's
Well, you can help them, but there's no place to send them.
well, I had some places to send them and they wouldn't accept them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, they didn't really give a reason. I mean, when you send it was 52 and 54 page referral, which is what I sent, document with photos, writings, journals, my diagnosis, everything,
Maybe
notes.
they weren't capable, they thought, of handling that situation.
No, they are. I've referred people before.
Oh, okay.
And to the point where I say, does this person have to kill somebody before they get the help they need? I literally uttered that question to them. They said,
or get killed themselves.
yeah. I mean, it's very frustrating to me. I've talked to Senator Lazar about this. We need a centralized location. And Cherry Hospital has got a waiting list, so you can't even send them there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nowhere.
I can't. I'm still. There's Cherry Hospital was there. What was it? O'Berry also.
There was
sometime?
Dick's,
And then there was Dick's.
Dorothea Dick's Hospital.
But why did we close Dorothea?
I don't
Dick's?
understand. I know that
There was
There was a
some abuse.
reason. There was some of this or
I
whatever.
mean, this was an antiquated place.
but that
But
could
we
have been
closed it, but
overhauled.
why didn't we fix it? Why didn't we go and
Correct.
why didn't we build another one?
Yes, I mean, find an old, even if you found like a, let's say, you know, they did close some prisons. Find an old prison, renovated enough to put, you know, people in. Find an old hospital that has been closed. You know, that sadly, some communities have hospitals that are being closed. Do
Yep.
something. I mean, we have a major need here in North Carolina for mental health treatment. And the worst part about it is some of the treatment facilities that are currently in operation are not worth 2 cents
Exactly.
with the care. So there's that. Then you've got agencies that chase money. So there's
I
that.
was going to say,
They aren't providing any care. They're
almighty dollar.
billing insurance, but that's it. I mean, you know, when you've got somebody with severe anxiety depression, they're being seen once a month. Absolutely unacceptable. And that should result in a loss of somebody's license. Bottom line.
Well, just like this one place that I called for 30 days. I thought, I checked all through the state, from the west to the east, north, south. $30,000 just for 30 days.
Yep.
And no one
And
can
most
afford
places-
that. Yeah.
No. And we wonder why all these things are happening, these horrible things. Well, it's because, I mean, a person can't help how they're born. I mean, in some cases, other things can cause these things to be larger than what they are. But if you're born with something and that's your mind, and you've been, what's happened periodically is they'll put you in the hospital or send you to a hospital for like 5 or 6 days, keep you laid out, won't do anything, and then they'll send you home and you're back at it again, and then you do whatever again, your meds, blah, 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 and then you become incarcerated again. Well, then it's like you go to prison and you come back out, and then it's the same thing, on and off, on and off. I mean, it's just ridiculous that we, as this country, as much that's going on in this world with all the killings and the shootings and whatever, we've noticed that there are mental illness connections to these people.
Absolutely.
Now, that's what I believe. They're not all cases, but I feel like that if you do, there's a problem if there's a mental issue. And the family knows that. And sometimes it's a responsibility of the family. I mean, but you get frustrated because you're fighting something and you're not. I mean, I even call these, and I don't mean this ugly, but I'm going to say what I'm going to say. I've even called some faith-based places, but they won't allow them to take medication because they believe in the reasoning, which I totally understand. And I said something I probably shouldn't have said, but I said it was a male individual, and I said, well, if you're having difficulties in other areas of your life, do you ever take a pill to help you with that area of your life? What's the difference in that part of your body compared to your brain? Well, I never heard back from that.
I'm sure you did not.
Well, I agree with that. That don't get you about to get me on a tangent about something like that. Don't even let me.
But you
talk
see
about
what
that
I'm
kind of
saying?
treatment.
I do.
There's a place that would take them, but they won't let them take the medication.
And that's
And I believe
absolutely
God can
wrong.
heal.
Nope.
Exactly. And I believe God can heal, but there's some things that God has given medication. This is just my personal whatever, and I'll probably get told off or whatever, but I don't really care at this point. I mean, you treat the mind like you would your diabetes or your heart condition or whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
I do.
you've got to take the meds.
Okay. Joy,
And
thank
that's my
you.
spout for today. Y'all haven't heard from me a while. Now you really heard from me.
I want to hear from you all the time.
Bye, Joy.
Thanks, Joy. Joy,
Good to see all y'all.
take care.
Good luck on your cooking.
I hope nobody gets sick. That's
They
the reason,
won't.
That's the
I
reason, that's the
promise
reason
you.
I'm sampling it in advance.
They won't. They won't.
Well, I'm doing it just in case, you know. I'll be the guinea pig.
No.
If whoever cooks for you won't sample the food, don't eat it.
I agree with that. Scott.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Joy.
Joy.
Y'all have a wonderful day, and thank you so
You
much.
too.
You
Thank
too.
your company for what you do.
Oh,
All right,
thank you.
appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Raven, I've read a story that it's about to make my blood boil.
Oh, another one.
Indiana. Did you see that story?
Probably not.
A pair of a man named Terry Wood, he's 53, and a girl named Brianna Puentes is 25. They've been arrested for felony theft and cemetery mischief for stealing bronze veteran burial markers from headstones.
You know, you could get your butt beat really bad for that.
I'm telling you, I volunteer to beat a butt.
Yeah.
I mean, what is wrong with people? And they've stolen at least 15 bronze grave markers from six different cemeteries.
No.
Yep.
We got a
And-
special place for you. It's about 600 feet underwater.
Tell me, this is what me and Lee will ride at dusk.
Oh,
over
yeah.
something like this.
We ride
Okay,
it.
if you
We
guys
ride
are
it.
calling, give us a call back.
Yeah.
Whenever we're on the line, we know somebody's calling, but we cannot answer that
Yeah,
line.
but you can call now. It's
You
free.
can call now. Call 0910
Somebody's calling. Are they on there?
333-0139.
Just tell them hang up and call again.
Hang up and call back. That way you'll get on the right line.
That's
Because
what's going
right now,
on.
line one is free.
Yeah.
And that's the only line we can answer. Okay, got
Right.
it? Ring
So-
us up.
So these two have been arrested. The man's under a $15,000 cash bond. The lady's under no bond, which I don't know what else she's done, but this is wrong.
There he is.
So
I think that's our friend Chris. He's been trying to get through.
Chris is trying to get through. Hey, Chris, what's up?
Well, good morning, everybody. Hope you're having a good day.
I don't know. It's 49 degrees here a little while ago. It's 55 now. I'm thinking of a
Feels
fireplace.
good to me.
Yeah,
fireplace.
I'm still trying to find that place that is 90 degrees year-round with 65% humidity and be able to move there and live a wonderful
Yeah,
life.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think it's
Yeah, so,
underground with a heater.
I'm going to change the subject a little bit here to numbers.
Okay.
Do it.
Okay. You know, our founding fathers, the average age of our founding fathers was 44 years old. I understand that back then, and people didn't live as long. The problem is the average age of Congress right now is 65. The average age of a senator is 64. There's a problem with those two numbers.
Yeah, there is. Because that means there's some people much older than that.
Sure there is, but that's just your average age. And of course, somebody came out and said, we want an age limit for the president. But nobody wants an age limit for Congress or Senate.
Good
Why?
point.
Well, Strom Thurmond was what, 93 or something when he finally got out? He was useless.
At least.
He was
Okay.
totally useless at that age.
You know, another number people need to, especially those who are of the Republican Party, need to remember is the number 1836.
Okay.
Is that a year?
That was the year 1836 was the last time a sitting vice president was elected president the following year. 1836, 188 years
Really?
ago. We can only hope that happens again. I get around a lot, obviously, you know, and talk to a lot of people. And I'm gonna not talk as much and get your inputs. When people, especially on these big three networks, go and interview these people, why are you voting for Harris? Why are you voting for Harris? Here's their answer.
She's a woman.
Okay, that's their answer. They have no answer. Think about her platform.
Well,
There you go.
Can you tell me what her platform is?
Does she have one?
Or why are you voting for Harris? And they walk away. You know, okay, I've said this before. Let me repeat it again. As a person, Donald Trump is probably the worst example of a man there is in the world.
Well, I can think of some others, but I.
Well, sure. Okay. Okay. But what he did when he ran is he did everything he said he would do.
Yep.
Period. Now, she is second in command to Sleepy Joe. Now, all of a sudden, 3.5 years later, she knows now what's better for our country.
Well, let's just analyze what you just said. Donald Trump did everything that could be done that during his 4 years, in spite of the interference, and there was a lot of interference that he said that he promised he was going to do. Right Well, so has Kamala Harris. She's done everything that she promised that she would do. And in the next 4 years, if she's elected president, she will continue doing everything that she promises that she will do. And that is nothing, honey.
When she cannot answer a simple question, when she was asked about not visiting the border, and her response was, "Well, I haven't visited Europe either."
Except I went to Germany.
She said, "Yeah, but she said, I really don't understand the point of your question." Well, the point was very simple. She couldn't understand that. I understand that nobody really trusts the big three networks anymore.
Nope.
I don't know who could do a good debate and handle it in a way. I think the last one was pretty good. Why she wants the mics open all the time, no idea.
Oh, we know
So
why.
she can bait Donald Trump. I can
Sure.
bait Donald Trump. I can bait so many people so easily. I mean, God, I did it for a living. Think about it. I baited more people sitting across from me in a little quiet room when I was asking them questions. I baited them. She gave me a break. I gave them the opportunity to lie. And once you do that, then you're done. She is a master at baiting people. She's a prosecutor. Duh.
Not to get too personal on this question, but just off the cuff. How many of you three are millionaires?
None.
In my heart, I am.
I don't have a heart. So.
In our hearts. In our hearts,
Yeah.
yeah. In
Yeah.
our hearts.
Yeah.
But she is worth $5 million. That's her net value.
That
$5
was
million.
her savings that she put away while she was the district attorney and while she was, 2 years as a senator or
I'd
something?
retire from everything.
Oh yeah. And the books that she wrote, I've never written. I didn't even know she wrote a book.
Well, somebody
Quite
did
honestly.
put her name on it.
Put her name, but I just for the life of me, I'm waiting for someone like maybe Steve. Hope Theo calls back again so he and I can have fun conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Serious but fun conversations. But what is exactly what is their platform that Kamala Harris has said that makes them want to vote for her? But I mean, any Democrat, someone please use common sense and tell us all what is her platform, because she's not given one yet.
Mm-hmm.
And her interview, we're going to have my first interview. That was a joke.
It was.
And a couple of things that were highlighted by some. If you look at the pictures, there we go. She had the questions in advance. She's avoided questions by doing the senator. I don't have time for questions right now because she's boarding Air Force Two with earbuds in her ear.
She acted as though she were on the telephone with the earbuds.
Yeah.
She was giving that impression. Maybe she was. Do you really think so? Would you trust her to be truthful under those conditions? No, I don't. I do not. I don't trust Trump under a lot of conditions, but I don't think he's going to sit there and play games like that. He will address the issue straight on because he can do it. She can't.
I want people to picture this. Think about this before they go to the polls in November. Try to picture her talking to Putin or to Chai or to North Korean leaders. Think about her talking about these people, not our allies. Her idea about getting rid of the U.S. steel is ridiculous. The sale of U.S. steel. That's ridiculous. It's a plus, win, win, win for America and those workers in Pennsylvania.
Yep.
But she's against it. Y'all have a great day.
Thank
Thanks.
you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
You take care. Maybe we could get, I'll make arrangements with Chris to know what day he could come in here. And then we will send invitations, engraved or not,
Right.
to Theo and to Steve and to some other
Doug,
individuals.
Mike too.
Doug.
Mike, Doug.
Mike would
That's
be
4.
good.
That would take care of
Yes.
2 hours.
Yes.
We got the time to do that right now. That would be absolutely
Yes.
ideal. And
If you're listening, Mike and Steve, let me know if you're
if you
willing to
would
do
like
that.
to do that.
And
Just-
it's not going to be a beat up each other.
no,
program.
absolutely
It's just
not.
like,
Just ask the questions.
Right.
Y'all just debate with Chris and let's see how
Right.
it comes out.
right, exactly.
Okay, I got a question to ask you,
Oh.
ladies.
I got one to ask you,
Yes.
but go ahead.
You ask me first.
Well, it's a snake question.
Shoot them.
Do we want to?
to?
Or do you want to wait till tomorrow and do this snake
Let me
question? We have
pick
a
my
caller.
feet up first because every time
Yeah.
we start talking about
We'll do
snakes
it
and
tomorrow.
bugs,
I'll do it tomorrow to get
something
Candy good
will
and
just
riled up. 'Cause
lightly
there's-
touch
we have
my
a caller.
leg.
See if we got time for it. Good morning. Who's this?
It's Mike.
Hey, Mike.
And
We're just,
you-
we're
I
just
recognize the
talking
number.
about you, Mike.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He heard us.
The challenge.
You accept the challenge.
Oh,
Good.
right.
See, I knew Mike would do it.
All right,
I
we
did
got
too.
one, and
Yeah.
I'm sure that Theo will
And
accept the challenge.
And I know that Chris Marks
Yeah.
will come in.
Yes, he will. So we got Mike. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I agree
Thank
with
you.
that. Yeah.
Very
that
good.
would be a great
That
show.
would
That would be an
wonderful.
amazing show.
Having
I
both
just-
sides on here.
I just think it would be ideal this time of year. This is the perfect opportunity.
I'm
We
gonna
got-
sit right over there. Let y'all have it.
Yeah.
no, we're just gonna let Chris do it. I just work the mics. That's all.
Right. Well, we need somebody else with Chris.
Yeah.
I know the perfect person. I'll reach out today.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
That's scary in itself.
No.
Okay,
Yes.
We need
Snakes.
2 for each side.
Snakes, you want to do it tomorrow?
I can do it tomorrow
hell
because
tomorrow?
it's just gonna I just
You saw the one underneath the desk, didn't you?
you better stop right now.
See, that's what I'm saying. Kelly, you missed, I don't heard it the last couple of weeks, but when we got talking about bed bugs
Oh
and
God.
lice.
Oh, I didn't hear all that.
And Rayford and I did nothing but we
Oh, we
laughed.
did,
don't
and
make
I
me
already
scratch.
started
Well,
scratching.
Y'all stop. I didn't hear. Well, I was too sick to listen.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord.
Well, it's just a school in North Carolina. It was up in Durham County.
Of course it
Had
was.
passed out the laptops for the kids.
Oh yeah.
Chromebooks.
Oh, my daughter became unglued
God,
over that
here we
one.
go.
Yeah. Stop.
And there was bed bugs in them.
You know, I've got the solution for him, and it's not a joke because I read this on the internet, so it can't be a joke. For your linens or anything else where you've had the bug infestation,
Right.
after you do whatever treatment you can, put them in one of those big bags that they call Ziploc bags. They're not. They're the kinds you put the vacuum thing to
Mhm. Yeah.
suck them down, and turn the heat on.
Yeah.
This is what we did.
No
like,
air and heat.
with my mother's stuff. Like we took all the linens, put them in bags, and then took them and put them in the dryer under high heat for
Same
40 minutes, and that will kill anything in the linens.
Somebody on here commented, said, Mike is still on the phone. They commented, Donkey Man to come on as well.
Oh yeah,
so
that'd be a good
have like
idea.
a whole big.
We'll just have to
There'll be
get
like a forum.
we have to get
Yeah.
a
Well,
group in
Tim commented. Tim Spees
That's what I'm
commented.
talking
Tim,
I
maybe
think he
it's
means
him.
Donkey Man Tim.
maybe he means him.
I thought he meant Donkey Man.
He probably is, but yeah, Tim.
Oh,
Maybe you.
okay, we got enough people. We got enough for a
So
group.
we're
we're
gonna
gonna
set it up.
I'll have to buy some more
Mike
microphones.
and Doug.
Well, we have
Theo.
3.
All right, my question for you, ladies.
Oh,
Yes.
Lord,
We'll
I'm
wrap up.
scared.
It's a kind of a trivia thing. When do you think the first in this world, the first driving a vehicle, motor vehicle,
Mhm.
under the influence occurred?
What?
Under the influence.
Drunk driving. When was the first drunk driving case?
About the time
for
they
a
invented
motor
the
vehicle.
4-wheel
I am
vehicle?
going to say
and where?
Oh, geez. Where? Like, as in like a city
Or a
looking-
country?
Oh man. Well, I'm
Great
going.
Britain.
I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with the United States, and I'm going to say 1924.
Wrong.
Okay.
1897, a 25-year-old
That is
London
much.
taxi driver. His
Great
name was
Britain.
George Smith.
Mhm.
First person ever arrested for drunk driving after slamming his cab into a building. He pleaded guilty, fined a grand total of 25 shillings. In the United States of America, the first laws against operating a motor vehicle while under the influence of alcohol went into effect in New York in 1910.
Oh, impressive.
Yes.
In 1936, Dr. Rolla Harder, a professor of biochemistry and toxicology, patented the drunkometer. It was a balloon like
Drunkometer.
A balloon. You remember the balloon things you used to blow into way back when?
Yeah.
Well, I don't.
A
but I know.
balloon-like device
Right.
into which people would breathe to determine whether they were inebriated. In 1953, Robert Borkenstein, a former Indiana State Police captain and university professor who had collaborated with Harger on the drunkometer, invented the breathalyzer. That goes back to 1953. Cool. Easier to use and more accurate than the drunkometer.
Well,
How about that?
that's
1897, the first dude, and that was in England. You were right about UK.
All right. Oh,
Okay.
I got that right, but she came very close to the right year. She was extremely close.
I don't know when the first one in this country was actually arrested. They got the drunkometer in 1936.
That name.
Before
the
that,
drunkometer.
before that, I remember. I've
Mhm.
heard that one before.
Wonder who was first with the bus? The DWI bus. The
Don't know.
Batmobile. Yeah.
The Batmobile. I don't
The
know.
Batmobile.
Okay,
Interesting.
we will see you tomorrow
And
morning.
we'll talk
Won't
about
we?
snakes tomorrow.
Snakes.
This story is
Two-legged?
like
No snakes.
no, this is a
just a real snake.
creature snake. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
just
Slippery
South
little
Carolina.
slide. Oh,
Fun.
yeah, okay, not that far away.
Not far away.
In the meantime, if you have something you want us to ask Dr. Rose, let us know.
Yep, she'll be on here tomorrow morning at 7:30, and that's it so far.
Yeah,
I have
and
a question
Thursday
for her,
we
yeah.
have Dawn that'll be here from the Boys and Girls Club,
Yay!
and of course our very
Chris
favorite Chris
Miller.
Miller, sports
Yeah.
editor, Daily
And
News.
this weekend we'll hear about more about this coming Friday night
West
too.
Carteret.
Let's catch it. Let's
at
catch it county.
West Carteret.
We need to get a pool going about what the score is going to be.
Oh, a sports bet?
Yeah.
We can do that online now.
Oh yeah, there you go. Okay, we'll see you in the morning. You're live on Real Talk. And I guess I need to stop there, don't you? Soon to be
Mhm.
live and local Real Talk on a station or two or three or
That's
four.
right. A lot of things coming
You
up.
never
Stay
can
tuned.
tell
Mhm.
when something called syndication happens.
Right.
We'll
know.
see you tomorrow morning. Y'all be safe out there. Be very, very careful.